Hi, everyone. I'm Eric. I'm one of the organizers here for 1 Million Cups Seattle. Thank you for coming this morning and hanging out with us. Some of you are, it's almost the afternoon for you friends in Fort Lauderdale. So thanks for coming. We appreciate you seeing what we have to offer here. This is your place for entrepreneurs to talk and have a good time and tell their story and build a community of support and friends. So that's what we're all about here. And wanted to let you know that we'll be meeting next week as usual, but the following week, we're right before Thanksgiving, we have no presentation planned. Instead, we'll be sending out an announcement to everyone, but we'll be meeting at the collective for anyone who's been a presenter and wants to come pick up. We have some fun parting gifts for you, such as a mug and such. So we'll be having some coffee, some other things that we want to give to all of you who were so nice and presented for the 1 Million Cups community in 2020, this crazy year. So more on that. You'll get an invite if you've been a presenter. So on with the show here. So what are we about here? 1 Million Cups is really about sharing ideas, building a community, and supporting each other. And the best way is to offer help and ask help and just show up and be routine and listen and hear and if you've got ideas, help out. So that's what we're about, all, of course, while drinking 1 million cups of coffee. Unless you're like me and you drink something like this, which is a caffeinated beverage of other sorts. But what makes us different than other organizations that do and help entrepreneurs is that we don't rely on pitches. We're really about presenting. We want people to get practice telling their story. We're about connecting, not networking. It's not just handing out cards. It's, hey, I want to talk to you because, and therefore you have a reason. You know why you're talking to someone. It's really about getting to know them getting to know you, and to build that community and that trust. And we're also all about the community. This is not a professional organization. We are just volunteers helping a community grow. But the thing that I like the most is that we're radically and intentionally inclusive. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable no matter what you're trying to pitch, not pitch, but present, no matter what you're trying to build as your company, your product, your idea, that no matter where it is, you feel welcome here with us at 1 Million Cups Seattle. This happens all across the country. There's at least 168 communities, lots of attendees and volunteers every single week. So that's what happens in all 4 or 5 time zones that we cover, all the way from the East Coast all the way to Alaska. I don't think Hawaii has one as of right now. And one of the main premises that we have is that we're seeking to create a community that really enjoys education, presentations, and connections. So if we keep that as your mindset as we listen and help and learn from everyone, then I think we have the best chance of creating a community that is very supportive and helpful. We normally meet at a place that you see here called the Collective, and that's where I'm at right now. And during the years, over 8,000 other people like Adrian, who's going to present today, have stood up there and said, hey, here's my story. So hopefully we'll be back to this sometime in 2021. But for now, we're pretty happy and thankful that we have Zoom and other technologies to make this happen. So one of the things we like to ask everyone at the beginning is, do you think you have all the answers and feel like you know exactly what you're doing in your business venture that you're trying to make grow? If you answer yes to this, then hallelujah to you. But most of us answer no, because we don't. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you. We're here to get you an opportunity to try to break through the barriers that are slowing you down, to help you grow and create a better business for yourself and your family. We have some sponsors that take care of us as we do this. One is Human Up. They take care of our active campaign, our social media kind of marketing. A Small Studio takes care of, pays our bills for the meetup group. And then Seattle Strong, when we do get together, provides us with wonderful coffee. So that's the kind of coffee we'll be giving away if you are a past presenter. So hopefully you'll come and get some of that on, I believe it's the 25th of November. We do have, like I said before, a bunch of community volunteers who run this show. Today, we have, I think, 3 or 4 of us here, but we are all just volunteering, we would like to have more people. If you would like to become part of our group and help out this lovely community, then please just get in touch with any one of us and we will talk to you and find out what you might want to do. Today, what you're going to see is some coffee and conversation. We've already been doing that. Then we're going to have a 6-minute entrepreneur presentation, followed by 20 minutes of Q&A. At the end of that, we'll break into some breakout rooms and just have an opportunity to chat with some of the other people that are here and just find out what's going on. So chat about whatever you want and stay on for as long as you can. So yeah, we're pretty excited about this and we're happy to have you here today. So as we go through this, what I'd like you to do though is to be a supportive listener. Try to limit your distractions. Try to think what stands out to you and your questions. What do you want to know more about? And what did you hear that you might have expertise in that you can share? So if you can really focus on what you're listening for, and two, while Adrian tells us his business, then I think that you're going to have a better set of questions at the end, and you'll be just be more content or context for us to make a great conversation afterwards. So later on, we're going to come back to this, but for now, I am going to ask that I'm going to stop my share, and this will allow Adrian to take control. And I welcome from FynCom, talking about RoboCash, Adrian Garcia.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, everyone. I love the applause. All right, let me get the screen share set up. Okay, there we go. Move this thing over here. Okay, all right. Hi, my name is Adrian. I invented the SpamCash algorithm to address the root cause of spam, economic incentive. FynCom will license this spam filter for the Internet of Things. The RoboCash app was made to show SpamCash's effectiveness in a topical subject, phone spam. Our goal is to stop malicious spam in all personal communication while normalizing the fact that you should be paid for your data. I got my first boost spam call in 2011 and realized this would be a great social engineering tactic. Since I was wrapping up college and getting ready for grad school, I had no time to work on this. Instead, I tried using call blocking apps. Email ruined my inbox. Truecaller sold my data. RoboKiller took my money, and Haya worked most of the time. But the worst part is I was paying for most of these services, yet I was still getting spam calls. I realized that over time, spammers work around industry techniques, and it made me curious to figure out why is this such a problem and why hasn't anyone solved it yet? In late 2018, as I was writing my dissertation, I kept getting bombarded with spam calls, ruining my focus. It drove me insane, and I got obsessed with getting revenge. So I researched solutions from a first principles approach and realized that spammers steal billions of dollars from vulnerable Americans and globally every year without getting penalized. I noticed this was a global problem, and the US was only the 7th most spam country in the world. So I wrote my white paper a few weeks later and submitted a provisional patent in March 2019. Phone spam sucks. 20 years of laws and apps have not stopped the consistent increase of spam calls. Today's solutions don't address the root cause. They use boring things like spam detection and dynamic databases. Technology is an infinite cat and mouse game. Malicious spammers find ways to beat these techniques because they steal $92 billion a year globally. The FCC fined spammers $200 million, but only collected $7,000. Businesses suffer from lost productivity and get marked as false positives. Our laws are unenforceable and our tech is ineffective. At FynCom, we address the root cause of spam with a refundable paywall. RoboCash assigned a digital wallet to your phone number and sends all non-contact calls straight to voicemail. If a non-contact wants to call you, they can deposit 5 cents into your digital wallet. Your phone will ring. If you answer and the phone call lasts more than 25 seconds, the caller gets a full refund. But if you answer and don't like the call, hang up before 25 seconds and you'll keep their deposit. This is our patented method that lets good callers contact you without paying money and lets you immediately punish bad callers. Additionally, we pay you for every call you block. RoboCash gives you financial control over your phone. We live or die by the network effect. We will leverage a long-term supply and demand problem to help legit businesses pay consumers via our payment platform while we take a 30% cut. Each person that joins our network is one more phone number that will never answer untrusted calls again. This reduces the supply of prospects, which hurts good and bad businesses that use outbound cold contact in their sales channel. Long term, this will increase demand for these phone numbers. This pain will drive adoption of our patented business method, which lets call centers and market research firms directly pay the consumer for qualitative data instead of paying advertisers for quantitative data. The consumer decides what their paywall rate and what their minimum toll rate per minute is. You may decide that you won't take any calls unless they're willing to pay $1 a minute or $10 a minute. That's your decision to decide what the value of your time is. Our test showed that consumers are 100% more likely to answer cash calls versus cold calls. We paid consumers 50 cents a minute and doubled our increase rate compared to cold calls. Unlike our competitors, we made a spam filter that immediately pays our users for every single unwanted call. Additionally, we help customers increase response rate through fintech enhanced messaging, all with the lowest possible cost overhead for us. We operate in the blend of sectors that we call financial communication, hence the name FynCom. We're not experts in any of these individual fields, but in that blend, we're the industry pioneers. And we know this because we just got the utility patent that focuses in that niche. This gives us the time-based refund trigger, toll booth business model, and we have more patents pending on using our algorithm in the messaging sector and video conferencing. We specifically designed our algorithm to work not just in phone call, but in any form of direct communications between untrusted parties. Our big visions are to destroy spam communication and restore the right to be paid for your data. We have 1 year of residency left here in Evo Nexus, where I am, my incubator, so that's fun and rent-free. Product market fit, we launched 2 months ago. We have 200 monthly average users, all organic. We make 700 plus payouts for a blocked phone call, and we're global now, so anyone in the world can use our solution. Companies have already started expressing strong interest in using our solution, so we're getting really close to product market fit, and we're super excited by that. So this is our team right now. My IP strategy advisor, Peter, has had 3 major exits worth $300 million in the last 10 years. I'm seeking an experienced tech or biz development co-founder to help me strengthen my team. So if you know anyone, shoot me an email. Now, if we wanted to sell our IP, Cisco and IBM would be our first buyers because they've been trying to solve this problem for almost 20 years, and they put out a few different methods that just didn't have that aspect that we have, which is a user-friendly time-based refund component. That's why we were able to steal the patent from IBM, actually. This is just what we need to do. We need to increase our network effect, get as many users on the platform as possible in order to increase our valuations over time. So instead of selling our IP now, I want to grow this company and get it to the point where we can end up selling to Google, Apple, or ideally, in my case, I really want to take this to IPO because I don't think anyone else has the vision that we have, which is to get you paid for your data. Oh, I can't move. Okay, there we go. So why now? The market rewards blockchain enhanced business model. Brave is the top browser in the Google Play Store, beating out Google Chrome and Firefox. Industry players like PayPal are starting to jump into the cryptocurrency crowd. Cybersecurity is really important. We just had some more attempts to interfere in our election last month when emails were sent out with crazy false information. FCC has some robocall mitigations that they require by next year. So there's a lot of legal pressure on carriers, and we can help those carriers out. And there's sort of an increased public awareness of the value of your data and data privacy. And finally, my 1 million cup ask is to get more users. Scan that QR code, try out our app. If you're on iPhone, there is a email capture list on our website that you can just put your email in. We'll let you know as soon as iOS is ready. If you know anyone whose businesses could be enhanced with micro paywalls or nano transactions as a service, let me know. And then finally, did I explain the bigger picture clearly? And I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian. That was pretty quick.
Yeah, okay, I felt like it went over a bit.
Just a smidgen, but that's not a big deal. We've got lots of time today, so this is great. Um, so I'm trying to get myself so I can see all the participants. I know that we have some people who are going to have questions. So if you want to ask a question, go to your participants, click on it, and raise your hand. If you're here as a host, you can't raise your hand. And I see a few people have already hopped on. And the first person is Tessa.
Hello. I'm gonna switch so I can see your face. There you are. Okay. Hello. Thanks, Adrian. That was super, like, you got a lot of information there in a really short period of time. And I'm like the queen of just don't answer any call until someone like tries to hit me up a bunch of times, and then I will talk to someone. But I have that luxury where I think other people don't have that luxury, in businesses or, who are entrepreneurs who might, that might be the call that gonna sell the big thing. So it's a really cool concept. I would say, like, for me, the presentation had so much information in it that I think as a consumer of this product, I would love to experience like a really, really, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, pretty dumbed down version of what you just told us, so that I can like get it in my head in a way that I go, oh, like I guess what I'm saying is the emotional side of it. Like I want to, because I know I'm not sure if you have marketing materials already that you're creating to directly talk to the people that you want to be consuming this product. Like it seems to be like individual consumers. So actually that's probably a good question. Do you have marketing materials specifically for those consumers yet?
No, I've just been telling people, hey, we pay you to block spam calls, and trying to sort of trigger that. I have this sort of theory that the difference between zero and any micro payment or any sort of value is tremendous, and it allows me to sort of flip that psychological switch in your head. And so that's really my main marketing gimmick, marketing materials. Like now, I tried doing advertisements, and I wasn't very good at them just because I'm an engineer. I'm not a designer or anything like that. So I have a bit of a hard time with that.
Yeah, totally. And I mean that I don't think anyone wants you to be making things that you don't want to be making. Like as a marketing person, I don't want them to be making engineering things because it would be probably not so great. So maybe my like thoughts for you would be, I hear this and zero to any price of something is definitely incentive, but then I think I'd factor in like the time it would take to adopt this technology, the time, like the value of my time that it would take to like, understand what I'm getting into and how it's going to help me and if it's going to be effective. So maybe I would say like a little bit of, maybe find somebody that could help you do the marketing side of things in a simpler way, because you might get to people right now who totally understand, about how this works for the engineering side of things. But that like if it was me and I wanted to tell my friend about this, I don't think I could right now. So I need just like a little something to be like, hey, it's this, that annoys you. And like, you just download this thing and then it starts doing this. Don't worry about the like engineering part of it. Don't worry about what's happening in the background. You get paid, and you don't have spam. So yeah, that's some feedback, but I really loved how much information you got into such a small space of time. That's like something I want to aspire to.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, I'll take your words into consideration and, start. I've been looking around for a marketer, but I just haven't found the right person yet. So.
Awesome. Valerie, you had your hand up next.
Yeah, I found this product to be really, really interesting. So thanks for presenting. My one question is, you said that if the call lasts more than X minutes, I think you said 25 minutes, then the money would get refunded. And that tells me that if a spammer is really good, then and they're good at tricking the person who picks up the phone, they can still win, right? So I'm thinking of the elderly folks who hear the scam about their nephew being caught in a Mexican jail, and they get tricked into thinking they're talking to their relative and they, go wire some money. I actually know people that this has happened to, and it seems like that call could easily last more than 25 minutes and really work. So I love that the problem. I think your product is solving a problem, but it's not. If I'm hearing you right, it's not solving that problem. Is that correct?
Well, first off, I like the way you think. You think like a hacker. So like, yeah, spammers will eventually figure out how to work around any filters, including our own. But what's important is that we make it cost something for them in the first place, so that the greater probability of them losing money is greater than the probability of them not losing money. And that's what's important, because that doesn't exist right now. And to just the 25-minute thing, we actually do 25 seconds as the time filter, but that doesn't really matter. Like that can change to whatever you want it to change to. It's just some time variable. And for a spammer trying to spearfish older folks, absolutely the time ought to be longer for them. And I don't know the answer to specifically the older folk that may be more friendly and vulnerable to this type of thing, but I do know that if everyone as a population agrees to stop taking phone calls unless there's a deposit associated, we're going to make it more costly for that spam industry to exist, and that helps address that problem. The specific addressing that problem though, it's challenging. Thank you.
All right, Jolene, you're up.
Okay, I'm will say the same as a little bit as Tessa, as in like I feel like I'm like not quite understanding. So I checked out your QR code and I'm on your website. So I figured let's try to do it that way. Okay, so here's my question. The only unknown numbers that can ring your phone are the ones that left you a tiny deposit. So now when you say unknown numbers, so let's say I run a business and a new client is calling me. How are they having to pay that? Or like, how do they pay that? Or is it just certain, like if that's the part. I'm sorry. Let me just stop. How do they pay that?
You're fine. Our payment platform, we use something called Nano, which is a cryptocurrency. If you heard of Bitcoin, it's very similar.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to have some Nano in your RoboCash account, and you can buy Nano through exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, Binance. You would just go to those websites off our platform. We don't do that for you. We might have a third-party API later that helps you, like a PayPal button kind of thing. But for right now, you need to go to those exchanges, connect your bank account, and then you can exchange your USD for Nano, and then you transfer that to RoboCash. And that's only if you're trying to make outbound call. For someone who is just going to use this as a defensive method, like I just want to reject all call unless there's a deposit. You don't need to buy anything, and that's sort of the reason why I as a
business person wouldn't be able to use this. Like unfortunately, I did not set up a business only. Well, but that's the problem is I'm getting
business
the spam because I put my information up on Google, and that's when my spam started like hardcore. And so the thing about it is though, is because I have clients, I want them to call. So can you tell me, like, how do I don't want my clients to have any issue getting into me, but I want to stop the robocalls. Is there any way to make sure to filter and to make sure that I'm getting one and not the other?
Right now, our filter is a dumb filter. So in order to properly service people like you who are people who rely on taking incoming calls to further their livelihood, you need to take inbound calls.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be in the late majority or laggard stage of the technology adoption curve. And until we get to the network effect where everyone just casually uses RoboCash, we can't solve that problem. And going back to what you were saying with putting your number up, there's a term I like to use, which is a TTD. Spam is a TTD, technologically transferred disease. The more you put your information out there, the easier it is for them to reach you.
This is the problem. I thought I was going to have a small business, and then it grew, and all of a sudden I was like, it's my personal number. So thank you. That was my question.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's an interesting conundrum. And until you get to a critical mass, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to have this really be as efficient as you'd like. But you got to start someplace. So I guess that's where we're going. My question is, what's the tax implications here for a person who's getting paid? So if you do this and you make $3,000 through the year because everyone's robocalling you, do you have to pay taxes on that?
You do. So, in the case where you're getting paid $3,000, which I would love when we hit that point, that'd be amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
It would be a gift initially to you. And then once, when you sell it, you would have, depending on when you sell it, short-term or long-term capital gains, because it's a commodity. Cryptocurrency is a commodity right now. It's not a currency. So it is tax-based, like a stock, basically. And we don't currently keep track of that right now. We have everything on a ledger because that's just how blockchains work. But the amount we're transferring around right now are minuscule. I think I moved around maybe $1 worth of cryptocurrencies within this app so far. But yeah, there are tax implications.
And is that based upon the original purchase basis? I don't know how. I'm not sure if it's like a stock where it can change over time. So you might be making money, and then that currency might get more worthwhile.
Right. So when you get the currency, it's a gift up to a certain amount depending on what stage you're in, and then if Nano appreciates, if it doubles in price, then you pay the difference between the value when you got it and the value when you sold it, and that's what you pay capital gains on. Interesting.
That's very interesting. Yeah. And I see that Tessa has her hand up again. So Tessa.
Sure.
Hi, Adrian. Sorry, I was having a think about so like when Valerie mentioned like people being like getting tricked and things, I was thinking you were talking about like disincentivizing spammers because they have to pay. And then I'm thinking if you have really big uptake on RoboCash, it's like, would the amount of spammers go down? And therefore, because there's like less incentive because people have RoboCash and they don't want to pay, and then less people will be spamming people, so then less money will be coming to the people who, how does that, like, because I'm just like, are you taking away your income, I guess?
You bring up a good point. So we have you have to think of two kinds of people when you're thinking about incoming phone call. There are malicious scammers who dominate the phone calls right now, and then there's the legit outbound call businesses. This would be market research firms. So 20% of market research firms rely on outbound cold calls to do their study. You have legitimate call centers that are trying to talk to people. You have pollsters who are trying to call people and do their polls, as we just saw last week. Pollsters it's a difficult job because not everyone picks up the phone. So what we're doing is we're reducing the volume of malicious spammers that exist on a network and making it so that the good legit cold callers exist, and those are the ones who will actually want to pay you for your time. I mean, more than just that initial deposit, but after that deposit, they'll want to pay you, or they'll have to pay you 25 cents a minute, 50 cents a minute, whatever you want to be paid, because if they don't offer that, you're just going to hang up on them and collect their deposit. So the power's back in your hand now, and it's up to you to decide, like, do I want to engage with this? Do I not? So
yeah, that's really fascinating, and I like that it increases the value of the content that the although is that true? Like, is the
no, I would think so. You got to have a really good elevator pitch.
Yeah, like as in like you would be like, hey, I'm asking about this, and then the person would either be interested and care about it or be like, I don't care, I don't, or just generally I don't have time. I'm wondering, have you talked to any of these call centers directly about like, is this something that would be valuable to them and are they interested in it? Because I'm assuming at this point they like pay other companies a certain amount of money to get phone numbers, or I'm not sure how that works, but I'm just wondering, is this a thing that you've talked with the cold calling companies about, and they said it would fit into their model?
Yeah, so the progressive cold calling companies are extremely excited by this concept, but they're more excited in that they're more excited for the grander vision. So like you were saying, right now they pay people to go and find leads, and what we're eventually going to have is an option for user to enter your demographics, your psychographics, answer questions about what you like, what you don't like, and each time you do, we'll pay you out a little bit from our pocket, because that ultimately makes you more valuable to them, and that makes you more valuable to us. So what we say is, you are the product, and we're going to make sure that you get paid.
Interesting. All right. Thank you. Like all these, like, it is a big vision.
Thank you.
So I had another question as well. Suppose
Oh.
I'm, yeah, is
Eric,
anyone,
well, just so you know, John had his hand up as well. I just saw him in
Who-
my side.
who did?
Also, John.
Oh, hi, John.
He was like,
John, please,
pointing out.
please.
So I'm trying to use my virtual hand. For some reason, I only have a clap and a thumbs up. There's no virtual hand. But so Adrian, thanks for the presentation. And I think I get a pretty good understanding of the model. But I have a question for you. So I looked at your pricing structure. I know there's a fee for iOS and Android, no. And so that I was just curious if you could address that. I think I know the answer. And then the other question I had is, if I carry two phones, one's personal and one's business, and my business phone belongs to an employer, do you run into any issues as the employee trying to utilize this service, or do I have to go through my employer and they have to approve it and essentially give their sign off on it?
Okay, so to answer your first question, Android is free because it's 80% of the global market uses Android, and the majority of those that use Android, Android dominant countries are in lower socioeconomic countries. So one of my major goals is to get to network effect as quickly as possible. And if I'm trying to charge, Brazilians or Indians or Africans like $1, $2 a month, there's a lot of financial friction there, and I don't want that. It's one of the reasons why I designed our algorithm to be the way that it is, which is like, it's really simple. Like, we don't have to do machine learning or store numbers in a database or anything like that. The cost overhead of our design is incredibly low. And I purposely made it like that so that I could make it free for the majority of people. With iOS, they have really strong privacy standards. So I have to add in an extra feature, voice over IP, which is going to cost me money to do, and more time technologically developing it. So there needs to be a fee on iOS just on the basis that it's a lot more expensive to service iOS. I'd rather work with your employer to have them sort of have a central wallet that all of the employees' phone numbers are attached to. But you could do it on your own as an employee. You could just use the app on your business phone, but it would interfere with calls from your employer. Now, there's a chance that if we work with your employer, we can have them whitelist phone numbers, or just have a little bit less restrictions on the business app that you would have on your business phone. So I'd rather work with your employer, because I think that would just be a lot easier.
Okay, thanks. So you also answered another question I was going to ask about Philippines and India, and those were the bigger numbers outside of the United States. Now I think I understand why.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Very cool, very cool. That kind of was on the same vein of what I was talking about. So I just want to make sure that I've got this. If someone calls and they're in my address book on my phone, are they essentially whitelisted?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So it's my only worry is someone now finds my.
Oh,
That is an epic dropout. Like,
wow. Okay.
that's some old school stuff there.
That was amazing. You don't see that often.
Like back in the day when like your television would like lose its like reception and the antenna would just go bzzz. That was...
I'm surprised though that the whole Zoom meeting didn't go down, because he's hosting it, right?
I think I'm host. Yeah.
Oh,
I might be host.
I
So
think it just gave it to him.
He got RoboCash.
Something got it. Yeah. So I don't know.
I can pass host off to someone. Should I pass it to you, Tessa?
Yeah, sure. You can pass it to me.
Okay. Let me see how to do that.
I'm sure he'll jump back on shortly, but I hope his computer's okay. That looked like a sad computer moment. Let me jump in here.
Make host. Okay. All right. It's yours.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. No. Were you getting the gist of what he was asking, Adrian, in that particular spot?
I didn't get to catch that question.
He didn't. He was trying to get a bit of an explanation, but that's okay. Anyway, so does anybody else, I'll check the participants, anyone else have any more questions before we head off over to having some chats in breakout rooms? Let's see. Nope. Okay. sometimes we have some solitary hands waving without, in the case of John. Yeah, so, well, thank you so much, Adrian, for your presentation. Really great to have you on. I saw you here a couple of meetings ago, and hopefully we get to see you more and more often. But yeah, so that was really fascinating. I feel like I'm gonna have to do a bit of thinking about like how that all goes together and how I could apply it, because I'm mad about like spamming, and particularly for me, the mail, like I was like, if I'm ever gonna become a lawyer, I want to be a lawyer just so I can say it's like an environmental problem for people to be sending out mail advertising. Anyway, I'm glad you're taking it on in the digital world. Okay. Oh, Valerie.
Sorry, I just want to emphasize, I really love the idea that you're normalizing, you just slipped this in, but normalizing the concept of being paid for giving up your data. Because I think if you do that, like the whole Facebook model goes away. And Facebook has done some amazing things, but it's also this evil behemoth, right? And if we can shift that, and you being on the vanguard of that, I think that's really an amazing thing. And it also puts a positive spin on your thing. So rather than saying boo spammers, it's like yay for getting paid for offering up your data and for opting out if you don't give up your data. So I love that kind of positive approach, and then really switching the whole dynamic of I'm going to give up my data. I'll be willing to talk to the pollsters or have my information sold or not, and then I don't. And then we're good. I mean, maybe that cat's out of the bag. Maybe the ship has sailed and it's all gone. But
no, I don't think so. I think we can turn the ship around. I appreciate you for seeing that too. That's the exact vision that we have. So I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah, that is a really good point, Valerie, too, that made me think a little bit more about like the marketing side of things in my mind, is that like maybe that's a great way to pitch this product to like the non-tech consumers or your just general average consumer, would be to do it as a spin way. Like the catch is like, yay for spammers, or like, this way of like doing it in a positive light instead of taking that negative, but like that spinning it in like, yeah, like we love spammers, call me because like you're going to be paying me, and then you're going to get, they'll get their just desserts, whatever. But like, I really like that idea. And I guess you said, as you explained to me, which is really helpful, that it is the idea of turning it into after you reach that network kind of model and you hit that like threshold, then it's turning it into a really positive thing where you're getting that positive qualitative data that those callers want, and more and more people are winning with this. So that's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to you doing that marketing part of it, because I think that's where you're going to start getting that network effect where I can just like send it to a friend and be like, yo, try this out.
Sorry, I have a question. Yes.
Yeah, I saw you there. Go.
So Adrian, it was a great presentation. Thank you for that. I wasn't sure if you spoke a lot around just the rounds of funding or where you are in terms of the growth stage. I know you mentioned you're interested in hiring other individuals and you're looking at the user side, but was just interested in terms of the funding and if you've kind of looked strategically based on your industry that you're serving.
Yeah, so we're trying to get more customers to, actually pay us to use this thing so that we can be at a stronger position when we're ready to fundraise. I bootstrapped this myself with $25,000 so far over the past year, mostly on IP and a little bit on development. When we do fundraise, we'll be looking to raise a seed round at $600,000 for $3 million valuation with 25% discount depending on the investor. And if we can't find any investors, we'll be looking at an equity crowdfund. So that we can just get, because part of this is, again, giving people the chance to be part of shared prosperity. So I really believe in giving everyday person an opportunity to be a part of our startup at the very beginning, rather than just letting accredited investors, hog all of the profits. But we're not quite there yet with the equity crowdfund. We're talking to people here and there, but nothing solid yet.
Okay. Thank you. It's always interesting to kind of hear how each founder is looking at that path and what they're looking to do before they get there. So thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a really clear response on that front too. So you know where you're at there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Thanks for that question, Patricia. Yeah, it's always interesting when you see different presenters here. There is like their strong bit where they've got like, I have the answer to your question, super clear, and then the other fuzzy bit, and that's where we get to learn, like where we've got to fill out, you know, our plan, our business plan, and our business thoughts. Anyway, so if no further questions are around, I don't have the fancy slides that Eric likes, that we usually use. So I don't have them right now. So I'm gonna like fill it in with my pizzazz and my facial expression. Thank you so much. We do have a question that we ask at the end of it, and you've end of a presentation, and you've kind of told us a few of them, but do you want to give us an idea about what the 1 million cups community can do for you?
Yeah, I mean, now that you know about what I'm putting out there, if you have any friends or, you know, coworkers, whatever, who complain about spam, you know, let them know about what we're doing. If you have business contacts who you think, when you start, you know, mulling this idea over in your head, if you think that the idea of attaching a payment account to any unique ID could be valuable, like say in community building, we have interest from social media companies that want to incentivize engagement rates by paying out micropayments for a response. There's been similar models to this in the past, but we're doing things a little bit differently. So yeah, if you just, you know, talk about us when the word spam comes around, we really want to spread it organically. That would be of immense help to me. And if you know anyone who, you know, is interested in joining business or marketing or tech, let me know. I would love to reach out to them and talk to them.
Great. So
Hey, Eric's back.
you got Eric back. It sounds like, Adrian, you're saying you just want us to spread the word, get RoboCash is the name in that space, and that's what we can do.
Yeah, so it's a little confusing because RoboCash is the consumer-facing product, and FynCom is the bigger picture where we, you know, have the phone spam blocking app, and we have the market research response incentivizing and everything else. So FynCom's kind of like the business face of the company.
So if I'm trying to tell my friend who wants to use it that I should say RoboCash, and if I'm talking to businesses or have ideas about companies that might be interested, it's FynCom. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Thank you. Great, no problem. So we recently just got back our host, Eric, who went out in amazing style. Eric, we've just got Adrian to let us know what we can do as the 1 million cups community for him. I didn't have sexy slides, but if you want to take over, you're more than welcome. But I feel that we maybe kind of breakout is a good time to do some breakout rooms. I am now currently the host. So this is a fun first time to half host a 1 million cups. That's all right. Are you okay, Eric? What happened?
Just the computer just decided to turn off.
Had a sad. It was happening a Wednesday morning, kind of.
It is. It needed more coffee.
Needed to check out. Okay, no problem. Well, in that case, what we do now, also again without the lack of slides and kind of doing this from memory, feel free to add us on any of the social medias and the emails and things. We do email out a link each time we have it, each morning on Wednesday, so to keep you in the loop. And also just, I guess, another reminder that we will be doing a little coffee giveaway and some swag at the collective. And anyone's welcome to come around and say hi if you want to come down. They're really good at the collective at being, I'm not there right now. I usually am. I'm in my houseboat. John, I forgot to tell you, I live in a houseboat too. Yes. It's probably quite different to the one in Australia that you had. But yeah, feel free to come at the collective in November, later in this month. I don't remember the date, but this 25th. And then for now, we like to head off into breakout rooms and have a chat with each other. I usually luckily get the presenter, so I always get to talk their ear off. But hopefully Adrian gets someone else today. And we can have a chat. Feel free to stay as long as you like, and you can go whenever you need to. And thank you all for coming, our new Fort Lauderdale friends. We're getting quite a little back and forth going here between the coasts. And yeah, I'll put you into breakout rooms now, and hope to see you guys at the next week. Bye. Hey.
Hi.
Did-
I was with Eric and his computer froze again.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'll pop you into a different group if that works with you.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool. I'm gonna move you to. Alrighty. There should be one for you. Good
Great,
thing I'm
thank you.
here.
Yeah.
Did it work?
No.
To breakout room.
Oh, here it goes. Breakout room 2.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
No problem. Hey, Zaki, you there?
Here I am.
Gotcha back. I didn't know if you would come back or not, so I've been in the break, been in this main area. What's going on, bro, with your computer?
I don't know. I'm on my iPad right now.
Were you originally computer?
No, I was using to be able to share the screen and everything. I really need to use my computer, but it's died now twice here. Just poof, just goes to blue screen.
Whoa, that's definitely some computer hospital kind of symptom.
Mhm. It is.
Have you done your backups?
Thank you
I
for
think it's
picking
good.
that up.
Oh yeah, no problem. I was funny. I was like, it was just kind of like I'd listened to it so many times that I was like, I'm pretty sure I know how this goes. I'm just gonna do
Cool.
that. So yeah.
And did I like just go immediately out, or was I, because my camera was still on?
It went like we were laughing because we were like, that's some old school stuff. It looked like when you lose your reception on your on your TV back in the day and the antenna went out and like had stripes across the screen. Like
Really?
Yeah, it was really strange. I've never seen anything drop out like that in like in this decade at least.
Well, there you go. See, I'm an old guy, and this is just old school failures. You know.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, it was funny. Everyone, it went smoothly though. I think like because Adrian was the host. He's like, "Shall I give it to you?" And I did.
Cool.
Leaving. Is that sometimes? Yeah. So all good. Everyone
Good.
had a good time in their respective groups, and I think they're wrapping up one of them. Adrian and Valerie and Jolene are still in there with chatting with him. So yeah, that's good. I like this. I've never actually run anything before, so I'd not even used Zoom from this as a host before.
Perfect.
So it was super user friendly.
It is. It's not too bad, and the best part is you got to do it in a small chunk, and now you're ready to do the real thing sometime.
Yeah.
Keep that quiet.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, no, it's fine though. But yeah, are you heading off now? Ooh, the coots are back.
I'm gonna do a little work. I'm charging my car.
I can. Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. I can drop you in a breakout room if you want to chat with some people. But if
Yeah,
not,
who's out there?
you could either go with Adrian, Jolene, and Valerie in one breakout room, or there's Amy Corcoran and Christian, who you were originally with when it jumped at.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to go there. They're great. Yeah.
I will send you
Thank
to
you.
the which breakout room is that? There we go.
I'm enjoying.
All right.